Previously on From.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Hey, you okay?
Did you see them?
See what? See who? We heard a voice on the radio. He knew my name, knew what my wife was doing in the house, in the basement.
Jim,
I think people are watching us. We've got to start working together on this.
I gotta go, Jim.
You were on your way to rehab and you ended up here.
Did you take anything from here? There's just a little bit of morphine, so I can Ariel. Have fun. Do whatever the fuck you want.
They're coming. You have to get out before the business stops. My blood is your blood now. I got worms under my skin, and it feels like something's coming for me now. We can't have new people stealing what little food we have. Get outside! Come on, get off me!
Boy, Penny, I'm gonna need you up
I
there!
can't breathe. Breathe in.
Christy, what's happening? We're gonna release the petrol, right?
You can't put my blood into him. But whatever's inside me is going to go into him.
Boy.
I had an idea. My blood is your blood now, motherfucker.
I almost lost them.
But you didn't, okay?
I need to ask you something.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pregnancy tests?
Season 2, episode 6 was released, and holy smoke, was that amazing. All the theories about how much the episode picked up was accurate, although some of the internet and YouTube theories were not so correct. I mean, we've heard everything from Sarah going into the box. We heard Sarah and Boyd running away. We heard just tons of stuff that, according to the storyline, could have happened, but it didn't happen. And so when I did my theory, I wanted to really get into it and use facts to explain, and you guys responded very well. So thank you guys for checking out my pre-show episode 6 theories and discussion video. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the new followers. I'm up a couple followers, and you know, I am a real movie fan. I've been watching movies for a long time, and I always have the discussions about movies and stuff. I'm really happy to have the discussion with you guys. Now, my theory was correct. Ellis was stabbed, but luckily he didn't die. I thought that they were going straight up red wedding, gonna have this horrible Game of Thrones thing going on where Ellis bleeds out and Fatima's holding him, crying her eyes out, and everybody's sad, boys going crazy. You know, I thought they was really gonna have something like that, but they didn't. It still was serious enough when you see how injured he was. I mean, that wasn't just a scrape, you know, that was a full lung puncture. And thank Christy for being knowledgeable enough. I mean, a third-year medical student. I mean, she pretty much saved that man's life in an intensive surgery. So just hands off to her. And you know, meanwhile in the episode, Boyd having a complete meltdown and psycho attack in the clinic. I mean, from him having visions of the ballerina whooping his ass, and then you see, you know, him pulling the gun on Maria, and then you see him talking to Father Katri. I mean, he was having a lot of things going on in a short period of time. I mean, they were pretty much back to back. I mean, and then it just all culminated with, you know, the blood transfusion, and then him having to go outside and really deal with creatures. And, you know, that was something we've never seen before. And I was explaining that, you know, usually when the creatures come at you, they come at you fast, hard, and heavy, right? They come at you like they came at Father Katri. I mean, there was no human form in a creature that came at Father Katri, just straight slice from, you know, 3-point shot, slices, you know, face off. But, you know, they gave Boyd the benefit of the doubt. They wanted to play around. The creature did not transform, even talk to him a little bit. I like this game, is what the smiley creature said. Allow Boyd to get close enough where he could swing and cut the creature and grab his throat. I mean, really allowed him him a lot of steps. And you know, this goes to other theories where, you know, Jim has his new theory where he's saying that they allow you to see what they want you to see, or they allow you to do what they want you to do. And to me, that kind of makes sense in that situation, because they allowed Boyd to do a lot, right? They allowed him to get close. They allowed him to, you know, cut Smiley, and he really responded by saying, "I like this game," you know. And so that was something we haven't seen before. I'm still a big believer that they do not attack when there's no fear. You know, it very much is a game, and I think it is very much started with fear. And Boyd went out there very bold and brazen, and he was not scared of them, and he was almost taunting them to come on. So at first it was no fun, but Smiley engaged, like I said, according to Jim's theory, because he was supposed to. That's what they wanted him to do, and so he was supposed to do that. And so the episode ends, you know, the creature outside in the morning, and they're sort of formulating a plan to see what's next. And so going back to the clinic though, when all hell hit the fan, Boyd did not want to give Ellis his blood because of the bloodworms, right? The problem was that nobody saw the worms in Boyd, and it didn't help that he pulled the gun. But you know, we see Kenny stepped up again, really making Boyd down and give his blood. And so that's what the picture was when we saw Kenny holding the gun. He was holding it on Boyd. And you know, him and Boyd have a tough relationship, you know, and I don't know where it got tough from, because all Boyd did was help him along the way. I mean, in season 1, you see him playing catch, playing ball, you know, really being a father to Kenny, but now you see Kenny being very forceful and almost making him do things. And it's not really, he doesn't have that compassion for, I mean, his old, you know, pretty much his dad. He's really like, yo, I kind of coming across like he never liked Boyd. And that's interesting to me. And so when we see Boyd in the clinic and he confirms that the worms are real, this is the first time that anybody else sees the worm. Because up until that point, no one saw the worm, and we didn't know if they were real, right? We know there was Martin chains in the bottom of the tower, and then we saw him pass the worms to Boyd, but we did not know if the worms were real. You know, we heard him talk about it in previous episodes, episode 5 and 4. We saw the worms, but we did not see someone else see them. Kind of looked like they saw the worms in the first episode, but it just, you know, Victor didn't say anything. He just gave a deep look. But now we had a couple people confirmed they saw the worms, confirmed it was real, and so we're able to see that the worms were real, not just a figment of Boyd's imagination. Okay, so let's discuss how the worms killed the creature. It must be that the worms need blood to exist. I don't think the worms were causing the visions in Boyd, because other people in the town are having visions with no worms. Sarah, Tabitha, Jay, Ethan, Victor, they don't have worms. But there is a possibility could have the worms too. But so far, us watching the show, we only know that Boyd has the worm. And when he put his cut hand to his throat, nothing exploded, right, from the creature's chest. It just sort of kind of took a second, and then he went down. He did seem to have some reaction when he fell over, but there was like no squirt of blood or anything leaked out. We didn't see like it get big and then go small. We didn't see any puff of anything come out. Even when he was cut, there was nothing. The worms must have went through his body, right, through that, and then into his brain, right, and that's where they killed, basically like a zombie. Must have went, like the worms must have went through his body and then in his brain, and then that's where they killed him, basically like a zombie. You know, many of these methods target the heart, but more than a few involve decapitation or dismemberment as well. The usual procedure involves stabbing the heart or pulling the heart out and burning it, or driving a stake through the heart. Typical vampire stuff. Decapitating the body and then burning the body to ashes. And usually only doing one of those is the hope to either kill a vampire, or what theorized in an earlier video was a revenant. And that pretty much seems pretty standard here. So now that Boyd and the townspeople lost their only known proven method to kill the creature, how can they kill more? And so what I'm saying is, Boyd, he gave it to Smiley. He doesn't have the worms anymore. They are back up Craps Creek. They have to find a way to kill the creatures, because they're still coming. They still got to protect themselves, and they still got to get out of there. So even though this is a small win, you know, for this battle, they did not win the war. And this is pretty standard to every monster movie. Examine the dead, find out what makes it tick, and destroy it. Right? They do that in pretty much every. Now, if you look at the synopsis from episode 7, that appears to be what they do. Now, I guess I should be quiet on this part, but Reddit leaks have provided a picture of the autopsy, so warning, spoiler alert. Now, if they find something, I don't know. Doesn't look like the creature has any blood. It just took a big risk. Maybe there's a payoff. We'll have to see. So episode 7 is called Belly of the Beast. A couple things that carry over from episode 6. Will they find the weapon? Will the guy who stabbed Ellis go into the box, or what will happen to him? Is Fatima pregnant? Will she have the baby? Will the baby grow up like Victor in this place? The synopsis of the episode says Boyd and Christy capitalize on the apparent death of the nightmare creature. Then it says Jim finds an unlikely ally in volatile rant. And the episode is titled Belly of the Beast. Now, Belly of the Beast is an expression that's used to describe a situation where a person is the most dangerous or difficult part of a situation, often facing extreme adversity or danger that could be in the underground cave or literally in the belly of the beast, meaning that the worms went into they bring the creature in, they cut the creature open, and insides come alive, sort of like what we saw in The Thing. And it just like, this guy's organs could just come alive and start grabbing people or assimilating people or turn the whole clinic into creatures. Who knows? There's still a food shortage going on, and I just want to say, since the show started, we've been trying to figure out how they're feeding everybody. I mean, Ethan got pancakes, for crying out loud, and unless there was a box of pancakes or a bag of pancakes back there, there's no way she could have had egg, flour, water, milk, and made those pancakes, especially when he said they were good. We did see some cattle. We saw some chickens. Donna does have a greenhouse where she looked to have, honestly, a lot of vegetables. Don't see any fruits. Well, we know that Victor had the peaches. And so now, if there is a food shortage, they're going to have to go look for food. I mean, that's the only thing to do. I mean, they're complaining about what they have and trying to ration it. How about during the day, they go out and look for food? I mean, Boyd went into the forest in season 1 and brought back a goat. I mean, there has to be more animals out there that they can go find. And so the rule of, survival tactics, if anybody watches Bear Grylls or any other show like that, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 minutes without air. So as long as they have water, they can extend it at least 3 days. And they just have to figure out where they're going to get the protein from. So after episode 7, episode 8 comes out, and it's called The Forest for the Trees. And maybe in this episode is where they go and look for food, or something happens with the trees. Episode 9 is called The Ball of Magic Fire. So we know something supernatural is going to happen, and that is what they call the penultimate episode. So that's where pretty much all storylines convene. It's where the most shocking twist will be revealed, and my guess is that someone has magic, or magic will be performed in the form of a miracle. Maybe the food, maybe an escape, or maybe a glimpse at escape. I do think that fire is associated with power, transformation, and spiritual energy is what I would define it as. It could also be a manifestation of said energy, representing a powerful and transformative force, or a metaphorical description of intense passion or emotion. So we'll have to see. That's my theories for episode 7. Thank you all for the new subscribers. Thank you guys for following me. I am the Movie Guru, and I'll see you on the next episode.